few. Just a few. What's
right, on to the battle. Braves, CE supremacy. Yeah, you heard that right. It's Patriots, it's Bills, 2-3-0 team second quarter. What's Tom Brady doing there? Throwing a ball that was picked off by Micah Hyde. Tough day for Brady, though. Finished with 150 yards, no touchdowns. Fourth quarter, Josh Allen was scrambling, takes a big hit. He'd leave the game, wouldn't come back. Concussion protocol. Bills have one last chance, down 6, but Allen's replacement, Matt Barkley, it was a good effort, wasn't good enough. Pats barely escaped Buffalo with a win. They'll take it, though, 16-10, your final. New England remains undefeated. Here's quarterback Tom Brady on his lackluster performance.
We just didn't do a very good job, I would say, of consistently doing the right thing against a really good defense that certainly plays well at home. But it's good to win, and whether we win 45-40 or 45-3 or whatever it was, say 16-10, they all count the same. We're just going to have to figure out how to do a better job on offense. Defense is, I know they're going to play great. They've been playing great all season long, and try to score more points than we did today.
All right, Chris Canty, were you more impressed by the Pats' resiliency, or were you more concerned about what you saw from Tom Brady in that offense?
I was more impressed that the Pats found a way to win. I know people are concerned about their offense and the lack of weapons that Tom Brady has to work with, especially not having Antonio Brown. But listen, the Bills defensively have making it tough on everybody's offense. I mean, that team was second in total defense last year under Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott, in the last 7 seasons, has had 5 defenses that finished in the top 10 in total yards, going back to when he was a defensive coordinator down with the Carolina Panthers. So they're going to play good defense up in Buffalo. That's the culture that Sean McDermott has built around that team. So it doesn't surprise me to see that Patriots team go up there and struggle. I don't think Tom Brady threw a touchdown pass the last time he played up in Buffalo in 2018. So I look at this situation, I say good teams find a way to win those type of games. And we talked about how good this Pats defense can be. Their secondary, I mean, it's probably the best in the National Football League. Didn't realize this until I was watching the game yesterday. Devin McCourty is his 4th straight game with having an interception. So, I mean, the fact that you have guys that can make plays, that can turn the ball over, that's always going to give your offense a chance. And when you create those sudden change, short field situations, give Tom Brady enough of those opportunities, he's going to be able to capitalize on them. So I'm more concerned about the New England Patriots being able to continue to sustain this level of play, because typically we see them start off the season a little bit slow. They haven't done that this year. They started off really, really fast, and the fact that they're playing at such a high level so early in the season, I'm wondering if they can sustain that throughout the regular season into the playoffs.
So we've got 2 4-0 teams that both went on the road yesterday against previously undefeated teams and escaped with victories. The reason that I think Chiefs fans should feel good and Patriot fans a little concerned is where the Chiefs struggled is where you know they're going to be strong, their offense. Where the Chiefs struggle is turning the ball over, not moving the ball, missing open passes. Where the Patriots struggled, if the Patriots had won this game 35-28, on a late touchdown, I would say be encouraged. That's resiliency. But I was concerned about their offense going into the game. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were concerned about their offense going into the game. That's why they were so upset that they had to cut Antonio Brown. They have injuries all over the offensive line. Their only proven receiver is Julian Edelman, who's yet to really pop this year and partially probably the last couple weeks because of that chest injury. Josh Gordon, after a good week 1, has been not the Josh Gordon we saw last year prior to the suspension with the Patriots.
For someone of his talent level, very inconsistent.
And now he got dinged as well. He had a wrist injury that he suffered, I think, in week 2. But the Patriots offense, this was their first test of the season, and they failed it. Their offense. Their team did not. The special teams, 3 phases of the game. A+ special teams, A+ defense. That can offset your F from the offense. But there's a reason Tom Brady celebrated the way he did on that pump block in the first quarter, early second quarter or late first quarter.
Yeah.
He knew the game's over. It's like this Bills team, as long as I don't throw a pick 6, the Bills are not going to be able to manufacture enough points. And so the Pats offense, when they do later in the year face Baltimore, when they do later in the year face the tougher defenses they have, how much punch will they have? Because Sony Michel has been bad all year long. The offensive line's been injured all year long. And Tom Brady is clearly not going to stand in the pocket and take hits until January. In January, I believe he'll do it because that's when it matters for him. But right now, it is chucking and ducking at the first sign of a pass rush. That I think will continue any other time they play a team with a real pass rush.
Okay, now I'm actually more concerned after hearing all that than I was when I watched the actual game. I wouldn't give special teams an A+ because they do have some semblance of an issue with their kicking game,
Sure.
which is
Yes,
not
and
an
that's
issue
not-
now.
That's a really good point.
Because,
Yes.
and it could come back to bite them, but it is clouded by the fact that they cannot generate any kind of offensive game. CC, how concerned are you?
Well, I'm concerned because of a few things that I've seen. Not only Tom Brady, the way he looks when pressure gets close to him, like, no, is he not trying to be contacted at any point? But the last couple weeks, Wednesdays, both Wednesdays, the last 2 weeks, he's been out of practice.
Yep.
Thursday, he was limited. Last week, they signed Cody Kessler as a backup to have a third arm in the building. That's not something typically New England does. When you look at all the injuries they have, if they could have an extra spot, it would be to have an extra lineman. With they missed their center, they missed their left tackle, and other positions are injured on that offensive line, they would sign another offensive lineman to have him aboard so they can get him up to speed as far as pass protections. When they bring in an extra arm, they are taking reps away from Tom Brady. They're watching film today like they lost. It's like a funeral in the building. Belichick is pointing out the negative plays. Brady and the rest of the team, you should be worried about their lack of explosive plays with the wide receivers, because to make explosive plays down the field, you got to hold the ball as a quarterback. Tom Brady knows this is just like the first half of his career. New England's got a great defense, and he's not going to make mistakes to take wins away, because they will be good enough special teams-wise, and they'll be good enough defensively to be able to get to what I believe to be 14-2 during the regular season, Chris.
No, you're absolutely right, and this team is going to continue to improve. That's what they've always done under Bill Belichick. Now, it's hard to envision their defense improving because their defense is already playing at a really high
Against
level.
the rush. Now with Hightower being hurt, too.
Exactly.
Because
that's one of the things that you
Frank
have to worry
Gore
about.
ran like Miami Hurricanes Frank Gore yesterday against them.
Shout out to Frank Gore, 4th player in NFL history, 15,000 career rushing yards, might pass Barry Sanders for the end of the year. Last point. There's a month of football where the Patriots play Cleveland, Baltimore, Philly, and Dallas in succession with a bye week in the middle. 4 teams with legitimate pass rushes. I want to see how the offense looks in that month of football, because they had 3 weeks off to start the year. They're about to have 3 weeks off again with Washington, the Giants, and the Jets. So we won't get to see them challenged until the midpoint of the season. I want to see how the offense looks in that setting.
No, you're right. I think that's a fair concern. But the one thing I will say is this. Had Le'Veon Bell on my radio show a couple of weeks ago as they were getting ready for the New England Patriots for that Week 3 matchup. And one of the things that he said that stood out to me is he said the Patriots force you to execute on every single play in every phase of the game. And so from me, when you know Bill Belichick is going to have a fundamentally sound team that's well coached, they are going to take advantage of all of the miscues that the opposing teams make. And if they can limit the mistakes that they make, they're always going to put themselves in a situation to make it a 4th quarter game. And if it's a 4th quarter game, what quarterback would you want over Tom Brady?
Did he mention if they're going to win another game or not? Or he probably didn't. We'll talk about it.
Week 8 against Miami.
Patriots, Chiefs,
Maybe.
and the 49ers are the only undefeated teams left, and the Niners haven't played their Week 4 matchup yet. Canty, we'll see you a little bit later in the show. Coming up, did the Chiefs prove that they can win without a dominant Patrick Mahomes? That's next up.